Hey, this is Victor with Southern Keto, and this is another Keto in the Car. Today I want to talk about the top 5 things that you can do to keep your keto diet on track. When you start a keto diet, a lot of times it's real easy to get started because you're so gung-ho about changing, and then you might get the keto flu if you haven't listened to my advice about the electrolytes. I'll post a link to my electrolyte video about how to make your own electrolytes up there in the corner in case you haven't seen it, but it's one of the side effects that kind of gets everybody down and probably the number one thing that makes somebody quit the keto diet, but it can be easily avoided. But anyway, you get started, everything's going great, and then you might get tempted. You might fall off the wagon, and so you just throw in the towel. So I want to talk about the top 5 things you can do to make sure that does not happen. The number one thing that you can do is set goals. Now, there's always a lot of talk about setting goals around the first of every year, but it doesn't need to be a New Year's resolution. You can start a goal at any time. The important thing is that you're clear about your goal. And more than just setting goals, you've got to write your goals down. There's something that happens in your brain, and you can do some research on this, but when you actually physically write, it opens up different pathways in your brain than when you just think about something. So anything you really want to happen that's really important to you, write down the vision and make it plain. Now, that comes from the Bible, and that's just great advice. Period. So write down the vision and make it plain and make it measurable. The best way to set a goal is just say, for example, your goal is weight loss and you need to lose 30 pounds. Well, the first thing you do is don't step on the scale for about the first 2 months. But say you want to lose 30 pounds in 6 months. Your goal needs to be something definite, and it needs to be something measurable. So an example of a good goal is not, I need to lose some weight. An example has a time frame and it's measurable. So if your goal is, I need to lose 30 pounds in 6 months, and it's February 1st, then your goal is by July 1st, I will lose 30 pounds. And then 3 months in, measure it. I'm going to do another video about why I don't want you to measure on a scale for at least 2 to 3 months. But this is not that video. So set your goals, write them down, and put them in a place where every day, no matter where that place is, it could be your bathroom mirror, it could be on the refrigerator, just somewhere you go every day, and preferably in the morning. So since I do intermittent fasting, I don't put mine on the refrigerator. I put mine on my computer. Because usually when I get up, I check all my emails, my work emails, statistics, and all those things. So as soon as I open that computer, my goals are right there for me to look at. But if you'll watch any success tips from any successful person in whatever it is, the one thing, well, there are a lot of things they have in common, but the one thing as far as goal setting that they all have in common, every single one writes their goals down. Everyone, without exception. The second thing you need to do to keep your keto diet on track is to be flexible. And by being flexible, there's several different components of that. The first flexibility needs to be in your food choices. It's my belief, at least, that in order to be successful, you can't eat the exact same thing every day because you'll burn out. But if you can, or you have some serious health conditions that you need to fix, and that's what you feel like you need to do, then go for it. Most definitely. But I think the flexibility of being able to eat the things that you like is crucial to success. At least it was for mine. And I don't think that I'm the only one. And I'll do like a beef, butter, bacon, egg reset every once in a while. But I can't do it for over 5 or 6 days. I could probably stretch myself to do a week if I challenge myself. But any longer than that is just going to be too difficult for me. The other thing you need to be flexible with is be flexible with the fact that you may mess up. And if you do, you need to be flexible enough with yourself to tell yourself to get right back on track. And don't be so strict that you say, well, I ruined it. There's no need in continuing now. I just screwed up again. Don't do that. You're better than that. If you get knocked down, dust yourself off, clean up, and get right back to it. There's situations in all of our lives because it's life. Things are gonna happen. And when they happen, it's how you react to them is the difference in being successful and failing. So if you quit the first time you mess up, you failed. But that's because of the choice you made to quit instead of saying, well, I messed up. Guess what? I'm gonna get right back on track and act like this never happened. Now, you don't want to make a habit of messing up every day or every other day, because then you're not going to reach your goals. But I'm saying, if you have an occasional slip up because you went to a work function, you went to a party, something happened that maybe you could have controlled but you didn't, because I know this happened to me, how you react to it is the difference. And your reaction needs to be, I'm getting right back on track and everything's gonna be fine. Because it will be if that's your attitude. The third thing I think you need to do to be successful with your keto diet or your ketogenic journey is to plug in. Plug into somebody that you like to listen to. So if it's me, check out my videos. Go back and watch some old ones. If you need some motivation, go to some of these videos. If it's a different person that resonates with you, watch them. But keep that in your mind, because you become what you listen to. Like my mom used to tell me, you become who you hang around with. And a really smart man, a really successful guy with a lot of money told me, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And if your time is spent watching these videos, then watch people that have accomplished or are trying to accomplish the same thing that you are. And even though we're not face to face, I or someone else could become one of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I promise you, I'm here to help you succeed. That is my goal. I want to help you get to the places that I've gotten to by using the knowledge that I've gained without you having to do it the hard way. It just fuels my fire every time I get a comment or I get an email that I've helped somebody and that they're reaching their goals. That makes me want to go harder to help more people achieve their goals. So plug in, whether it's me or somebody else. Find somebody that's aligned with what you want to align with and get on the same page with them. If you spend all your time watching TV or binge watching Netflix, so you got those commercials coming at you non-stop that are encouraging you to eat chips, sweets, pizzas, pies. They spend billions of dollars getting this stuff into you, and believe it or not, it affects you. When I'm watching a football game, because I love football, unless it's a Super Bowl, I don't watch the commercials. That's the time I go do other things I need to do. Normally, I'll start the football games behind, which drives other people crazy because they'll want to text me about, oh man, did you see that? And I'm like, I'm behind in the game, and now it's pretty much they don't text me because they know that I'm skipping over the commercials because I don't care. I don't care about what they're trying to push me. I've got my own goals I'm trying to reach, and the crap you're trying to sell me does not align with it. YouTube TV is the best thing in the world because I can skip right over all that crap. The fourth thing I think you need to do is measure your results. And I'm not talking about stepping on the scale. I'm talking about if you're a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in, and you've lost a size, or your clothes are fitting looser, or you feel better than you felt, or your aches and pains have gone away that you've had for 20 years. Focus on that. Focus on those results that you're getting and that you've gotten, and focus on how much better that your results can be if you keep on the path. And it is a path. Sometimes you might step off of it just a little bit and you get right back on it and keep going where you need to go. And I'll say again, don't get on that scale for 2-3 months. Measure your results on keto by how your clothes are fitting, how you're feeling overall, mentally, physically. Man, I used to get up in the morning and walk down the stairs, and I felt like a 90-year-old man. My knees were hurting, my hips were hurting, my ankles were hurting. I'd have to grab on to the railings on either side to get down because I do physical work. And when you combine that with inflammation from eating an unhealthy diet, it does things in your body that you couldn't believe. I had plantar fasciitis so bad, which if you don't know what that is when you take a step, it literally feels like knives stabbing into the bottom of your foot. Or fire, stepping on fire. Every step you take, it is so painful and terrible. And the keto diet has healed that. I have no more problems with that anymore. As well as the other inflammation. I can walk down the steps now. In the morning, I can run down the steps now. It's not a problem. Because I fixed the inflammation in my body that was caused by what I was eating. Now, your doctor's not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you to take a pill for your inflammation, and you can eat whatever you want to. But I'm telling you, you can eat whatever you want to with a few modifications to get rid of all the carbs and all the crap and all the processed stuff. And you can feel better than you felt in years. I know I do, and you can too. And you can improve what you can measure. I talked about earlier in the video how we would measure people's body fat. You don't need any calipers, you don't need DEXA scans, you don't need any of the techniques used now to measure body fat. All you need is an awareness and a pair of old jeans that don't even stay up anymore because of what's happened to you while on keto. That's what you can measure. That's what should give you the fire to keep on going until one day you don't even think about eating carbs anymore because it's been out of your system so long, and because you know that I'm going to come out with recipes for you for your favorite foods that you can use, and you're not going to miss the crap anymore. Once your taste buds change, a lot of things change, including your mindset. And when you don't have that brain fog anymore, to where you think you got to go get a donut in the morning, get your cheese Danish, get a bear claw. When you don't have that mindset anymore, you're not getting the Krispy Kreme donuts. And when your sales rep at work brings them in, you let everybody else have them, and they feel like crap 2 hours later, you're there. You've arrived. You're keto adapted, and you're what I call on keto and in keto. And when you're in that lifestyle, and you feel that good every day, you don't want to change it. And the last thing I think you need to do to keep your keto diet on track, keep your end goal in mind always. So you go first thing in the morning, you see the goals that you've written down. In the middle of the day, when you go to eat your first meal, or if you're not intermittent fasting, when you go to eat that breakfast, keep your goal in mind. Keep in mind why you're doing this. If your why is not big enough, you probably won't keep doing it. And I talk a lot about this in my first Keto in the Car, which was how to start keto for the new year. I'll put that in the corner, a link to that video, so that if you haven't watched it, you can go watch it after this. Because it's essential to get your mind right. It's got to be up here before you can see the results everywhere else. You got to get it in your mind. When you sit down to eat that meal, you remember that goal. You remember why you started doing this in the first place. When you go to eat that next meal, you keep that goal in mind. You keep in mind why you started doing this in the first place. And the more and more you do that, the more it gets ingrained into your being, the easier it is. And that's when real change happens. And you don't think about missing anything because you don't miss it anymore. Once your taste buds change, and more importantly, once your mind changes, and you know how good you feel, and you don't want to go back to trudging through your day anymore, having brain fog so bad that you can't think straight. When you don't want to go back to that anymore, you have succeeded, and you can make this a lifestyle for yourself. Listen, I hope this video helps you. Leave me a comment down there if it does, and share this video with somebody you think it might help. There's a lot of people out there that need help. There's a lot of people with diabetes. There's a lot of people with health issues that could benefit from a keto diet. And even if somebody doesn't want to go all in on keto, if they use my recipes, it's just going to help them overall. Get rid of a lot of the carbs. Even if they don't go all in on keto, my recipes are just healthier options, and they'll help a lot of people. But if you're on keto and you know how good it makes you feel to eat this healthy diet and live this healthy lifestyle, then share it with other people. It's the only way to get the message out. They're not going to learn this stuff in school. They're not going to learn this on the news. This community thrives because we're a community, we're a tribe, and we share this. I want to share it with as many people as I possibly can, and I hope that you do too. I want to thank you so much for watching and sharing my videos and all your likes and comments. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourself, keep it keto, and I'll see you in the next video.